Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca and today I will be doing a short sharing about factorization. Factorization involves us looking at expressions. So these are examples of expressions. And from these expressions, we are going to look at factors. Common factors with regards to each and every term of a single expression. Now, when we do factorization, we need to bear in mind two things. Firstly, factorization involves us looking at common factors that we need to divide from each term. Besides that, we have to bring these out of the expression to a bracket. I'm going to write the two keywords here, divide and out. I'm also going to show you 4 examples here on how to do factorization the easy way. For this first question, 3a plus 12, looking at both terms, what is a common factor of 3 and 12? So we focus on the numbers first. Between 3 and 12, both numbers can be divided by 3. I am going to bring out the number 3. So 3 comes out of each of these terms. And what happens to 3a now? 3a is then now divided by 3. 12 is also divided by 3. Following that, let's simplify this. So between 3a and 3, when you do a division, you divide both sides by 3, you end up with a. 12 and 3, if you divide numerator and denominator by 3, you will end up with 4. Hence, when we factorize, we are left with 3 on the outside. First term now becomes a, second term is 4. Next, 5a take away 15b. For each of these terms, 5a and 15b, 5 and 15 have a common factor, and both of them can be divided by 5. So if it can be divided by 5, I am going to place 5 outside of the expression. And when I place 5 outside the expression, I will have to divide each of these terms by 5. Following that, I will simplify each term within the bracket. So between 5a and 5, I could divide both numbers by 5. And the second term, 15 and 5, I divide both terms by 5. And I will be left with a minus 3b. Third question, 7a squared plus 12a. Let's look at the numbers, in fact the coefficients of these two terms, to see if there is any common factor. Between 7 and 12, there is no common factor, and so we do not bring out any number. Following that, let's take a look at the variables. We have an a squared variable and we have an a variable. How does this actually look like if we were to break a squared down? A squared can be written as a multiplied by a. So 7a squared is 7a plus 12a. Now can we see something that is in common with regards to the variable? Each term here has a as a common factor, and this is what we will be dividing out. When we divide it out of each term, it will be brought out of the bracket. So each of these terms will have to be divided by a. What have we left? Between a in the numerator and a in the denominator, we divide it by a. And for the next term, you notice that the a and a can also be divided. And hence our solution will be 7a in the numerator for the first term, and the second term will be left with just 12. The a is no longer there because we have divided numerator and denominator by a. The last question now. Let's start by breaking down 6a squared into 6 times a plus 8a. For this particular question, again, we start off by looking at the coefficients of both terms. And you notice that between 6 and 8, you have a common factor of 2. Beyond that, let's take a look at the variables. We have 2 times of a here in the first term and just 1 time of a in the second term. What is common? Is 1 time of a. So I am going to bring out 1 time of a outside of the bracket. What have we left in the bracket? Well, 6a out of 2a for the first term and 8a out of 2a for the second term. In simplification, the first term, let's take a look at the coefficient. Between 6 and 2, we could divide both sides by 2. And this pair of a in the numerator and denominator becomes 1 when we divide both sides by a itself. Okay, so for the first term here, we are left with 3a out of 1, which is just 3a. Second term, let's look at the coefficient. Between 8 and 2, we divide both numerator and denominator by 2. And the variable, we divide both numerator and denominator by a, and we are left with just 1. Let's tidy up our steps. First term within the bracket, 3a. Second term within the bracket, 4. So I hope that today's short session of teaching is something that is helpful to you. I'll see you again.